It's the queen from Queens with the money when it matters for you and I. It's the queen from
Hey guys, this is your girl Paula, the queen from Queens. These are money minutes that matter. On this show, you and I become accountability buddies. We are accountable to each other for our health, for our wealth, and for our business mindset. I have a dear, wonderful, beautiful friend on here. I absolutely love her. She's beautiful, not just physically, but she's beautiful spiritually, and she has a beautiful mind for business. Her name is Lorraine Gordan. She is the CEO and founder of Leading with Heart LLC. Absolutely phenomenal. She teaches business owners, entrepreneurs, people who are CEOs, CTOs, CIOs, and CFOs how to optimize their business, how to make it work well, how to get people around them that will help energize them and bring their dreams to life. When I thought about having this financial empowerment conference, I called her first. I said, Lorraine, this is the vision that I have. This is what I want to do. I want to host it for free. She said, do it. I said, Lorraine, I've never done it before. She said, do it anyway. I'll help you. She said to me, you need a chief technology person. I'm thinking, okay, I have one of those. I immediately called my really good friend, Lisa Hall, said, Lisa, this is what I want to do. Can you be on my team? She said, I'll anchor it. My very dear friend, Miss Alicia Morgan, as of April 2021, she and I are celebrating we're celebrating 35 years of friendship. Absolutely love her. I said, Alicia, I need an MC. She said, I got you. Lorraine said to me, you need an event planner. I'm thinking, what? Who's going to be an event planner for free? I tapped into my husband's cousin, Miss Kellyanne Bright out of Houston, Texas, called her, said, Kellyanne, this is my vision. This is what I want to do. She says, Paul, I'll take care of it. In addition to Kellyanne, we had an event planning intern who is in college becoming an event planner, Miss Autumn Young. She said, Miss Paula, of course I'll work with your team. In addition to that, I knew I needed someone who can be a graphic artist for me. Someone who can manage all of the social media, who can do the event planning and can do all of our posters and do all of our background stuff. I called Giovanna Monique from EAJ 1023 Radio and said, Giovanna, this is what I want to do. She said, I'll take care of it. That was my backstage team. And that's what Lorraine does. She has a vision and she helps you to see the big picture, not the minutia only, but see what has to be done. The next day after speaking with her, she sent me an email itemizing the things I needed to do to get a conference and to do it well. This is my girl. I want you to know she's absolutely brilliant. Alicia, introduce our friend, Miss Lorraine Gordan.
Queens with the money when it matters for you and I.
Our next presenter will surely appeal to your heart as well as your pockets. Lorraine Gordan is an executive coach, workshop leader, author, keynote speaker, and entrepreneur with over 25 years of experience as a people leader in various industries. She is managing director of Lead with Heart LLC, which is based on the belief that we create personal mastery and transformation from the inside out. Lead with Heart provides coaching, facilitation, consulting to organizations on how to create cultures of belonging, trust, equity, and inclusion. Lorraine, can we please hear your piece of the pie, of the bigger pie, excuse me?
Hello, everybody. I am so excited to be here today and to be among this esteemed group of speakers who are kicking it. And laying the groundwork. Special thanks to Paula for the vision that was birthed in you, and I'm glad you followed that leading I'm just excited to be here. So I wanted to say that, so I'm a coach and I work with leaders. I work with C-suite leaders, CEOs, CFOs, and I invite them to be curious, aware, and to make life choices that come from an authentic place. And just as Alicia said, we're going to be talking about the heart. So for the next 25 minutes, we're going to talk about how to connect your money with your heart, with your values, and with your why. Okay? So you might be thinking, leaders? She says she's a coach and she works with leaders. I'm not a leader. Yes, you are. We're all leaders. We are all leaders of our lives. We are creating something every day. What we see in our life and what has manifested is the result of many, many years of however you've been on the planet, we've been creating. We've been creating our money, our relationships, our families, our emotions. We are the creator of all that. And God created us. So God created us to be creators. So whether you did it consciously or unconsciously, we have created where we are today as a result of our choices. So imagine, think back to Book of Genesis when the Lord said, let there be light, let there be water, let there be the earth, let there be man. And then God stepped back, if you remember, and said, this is good. I really like what I created. God is a creator, and so are we creators. So over the next, I hope you're doing this for the whole conference. I hope you're stepping back. I invite you to step back and look at your life and look at your choices and look at your money and look at what you've created in your family, in your work, in your hobbies, in your venture, in every aspect of your life. And to ask yourself, is it good? Do I like what I created? Am I happy about this? Well, as leaders and creators, I invite you to find the leader in you and to explore those questions, okay? Of why do you want money? Why do we want money? There's songs about money, but why do we want it? So here's how we're going to spend our time together. We're going to talk about discovering our why, which is all about our purpose. Learning how our values drive our money habits. And we're going to talk about 5 steps. And you've learned so many steps already, so many great books and resources. I have just 5 other steps for you. So money is a tool. And keep in mind, money is not our life, but rather money is a tool for us to navigate in life. And even Cicely Tyson said, I've never really worked for money. It's so important for me to have peace of mind, body, and soul than to have all the riches. Cicely connected to her talent and her abilities. So I'm going to give you 2 books that helped me when I was in my late teens and my early 20s. One is called Do What You Love, The Money Will Follow. If you find your thing, your North Star, do what you love, the money will follow. That's by Marcia Zinitor. Another one is What Color is Your Parachute? I've shared these books, they're old books, with my daughters. And there is definitely connection. And today I do what I love and the money has followed. I have leaned into this space of what I love and what I enjoy doing. I love being here today. Okay, so are we ready to go on this journey together? Okay, we're going to start with number 1. But before we do, I got to give you my one investment tip because everybody, and Antoine's just rocking it with all these resources and where you make your contributions. I used to be VP of HR for years in many organizations. And one of the first things I said to people, especially new people coming into the organization, invest in the 401k program. Whatever you do, it's like leaving money on the table if you don't, because your company will match that money. So it's if you can contribute the maximum amount of money to your 401k and then just leave it alone, like Antoine said, let it automate, watch that compound interest happen. I did that in my 20s. And okay, that's my investment tip. Let's start with discovering your why. But why the why? What's the why about? Why do we spend money? Maybe it's to save up for a college education. Maybe it's to buy a house. You want to start a family. Maybe it's retirement. You want to make sure you have enough money, and people are really afraid now. How much is enough? And Antoine gave us some tips about that. Maybe it's a car, or that new handbag that you saw. It's vacation. But why do we want these things? What are the drivers? And why do we spend money on these things? Sometimes our spending is emotional spending. I spend because I'm really trying to satisfy something that's lacking on the inside of me. There's a need I have, and I'm using money as a way to satisfy that. That's not ideal spending. Sometimes it's motivated by advertising, the same kind of advertising that Antoine talked about on Facebook. It's like cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. They'll tell you what you need, and the advertisements are so seductive and alluring, and they'll convince you that you need everything that they're sharing. Another reason we sort of spend is because it's just sort of default spending. It's habit. We don't even think about it. We just kind of do what we've always done. And later I'm going to talk a little bit about neuroscience and what the brain does over and over again if you don't stop it. So why are you here at this conference today? Something piqued your interest to be here. So I hope it's to really be thinking about the legacy you want to create for yourself and your loved ones around money. But we're going to hear from you. We're actually going to do a poll. So we're going to put a poll on the screen, and I think you have the ability to make some options. There it is. So I invite you to just answer the poll, and this will give me a chance to connect with you because I can't see you. These are just 10 different options, and there may be other options. I think the poll is active, and if you'll go on there and just click and share with us, and you can choose more than one option. There we go. There it is. Here we go. It's lighting up. Yay. All right. I have goals. I see that. All right. People are saying, I have goals. That seems to be 70%. I spend money because I have goals. My habits align with my values. Oh, y'all are rocking. Okay. I want to be debt-free. These are the ones that are really kind of kicking up. When I look at the percentages, I don't think you can see the percentage, but I can. Lisa will launch the results afterwards. And let's get everybody choosing. So it looks like we're at 33% right now that said, I learned my habits from my parents. I'm one of those. My mom is a conservative spender, and actually she's watching this conference. Hi, Mommy. And she taught me to be very conservative with my spending. She just turned 80. It looks like 61% said, I have goals I want to reach. Let's launch it. And okay, let's see so everybody can see the results, Lisa. Take a look, everyone. 30% said, I learned from my habits. That's natural. 62% said, I have goals that I want to reach. I love that. You're goal-minded. 36% said my habits align with my values. And I love 55. I'm in that camp too. I want to be debt-free. Thank you, Lisa. We could take the poll down. So this gives us an idea of where we are as we think about our spending. And I have to say this is quite encouraging because you're focused on goals and you're focused on your why. So let's keep going. And next slide is about why. Here we are. But why? There's a lot of research done around why. Why resides in that part of the heart. It's that emotional seat of the brain where our emotions lie, our passions, our purpose. It's that thing that drives us. And sometimes we can't even really articulate our why because it's oftentimes something we feel versus something we think. Sometimes we don't have words for our why, but the why sits inside of us, and I invite you to really pay attention to that. So, a couple things before I go to the next slide, which is about values. Why? Why did I invest in a 529 college plan for my two daughters when they were babies? I was thinking about it then. I'm sure somebody got in my head and I was listening and said, you need to do this when they're babies, because I didn't want them to have the debt of college debt, which can be so burdensome and it can saddle our kids. I was thinking of the value of freedom. Why do I spend money on art? If anybody's been to my house, they know I've got all kind of colorful, bright, bold art in my home. And I love investing in art. I love beautiful furnishings, and I will spend more money on bedding because I love a good night's sleep. Those are my whys. Why do I spend money on travel? I love adventure. I love seeing the world. I love having an expanded perspective about how people live. And I will invest money in a minute for a vacation. And when I go on vacation, it's all paid for. I'm not racking up debt. I pay for the vacation. And I also want to create memories with my daughter. So I have whys, and I have a desire to visit all the continents, and I still have yet to get to Australia and Antarctica, but just 2 more. I'm almost there once we get out of this pandemic. So a few things to help you discover your why. First thing, ask yourself, why do I want this? Just if you take nothing away from this conference, ask yourself why. Every time you go to the mall, and you're probably doing that a lot less in this pandemic, ask yourself, why do I want this? Why am I spending this? Do I really need this? And then sit in silence and ask and wait for the questions. Wait for the questions. And if your response is not aligned with values and with your why, then it's time to reevaluate. Pray, ask God for guidance, enroll God in your money plans. God is one of the best money managers I know. I pray over my money. And then reflect on the stories and the habits that you've adopted over time as a kid. What were those experiences and how did they shape you? And what did you see or what were you witness to that influenced your behavior and the way you are around money? So just some ways and some things to think about. Now, values. Values are in that same place of the emotional terrain of the limbic system part of the brain where our why sits. Values are a shortcut to what's important to us. You can quickly meet somebody and see what they're doing and how they're spending their time, and it'll give you some insight into what their values are. Gandhi said, our values become our destiny. It's where we end up. Values are like that roadway, just like in this visual. They kind of keep us on this journey of where we're going somewhere, and they sit right alongside the why. Values are things like family, security, balance, honesty, freedom, financial security, adventure, creativity. Those are some things that are values. Now, there are some things called fear-based values, these sort of limiting beliefs that sit inside of us. And they're things like blame, revenge, manipulation. We're not interested in those kinds of values. Those are the kind of values that trigger fear-based spending, where it's I spend because I don't feel I am enough. I spend because I don't feel worthy enough. I spend because I'm not good enough. I'm not beautiful enough. So those are unhealthy reasons for spending. And the more we sort of sit in that quietness, discover our why, tap into our values, the more we will be able to eliminate those unhealthy values. Roy Disney said, when your values are clear, making decisions become clear. Okay, where are we now? So that's values. You might want to say, here we are. Here's some values. You can see some values on the screen because I have something there, a little treat for you. You might say, how do I discover my values? Well, Lisa's going to drop in the chat the Barrett Value Assessment. There are many tools out there, but one is called the Barrett Values Assessment. It only takes 5 minutes, but it will give you a robust 5 to 6 page summary of your top 10 to 12 values. It will even tell you why you picked that value a little bit. It'll even kind of get underneath in that heart space of, you might have picked this value because of whatever. So Lisa, if you can put that in a chat for our participants, that would be great. What you might notice is that I never said money was a value. Money is a tool to help us live out our values, but money is not a value. And money can't buy you everything. Lisa, let's show this clip.
You can buy a house, but not a home. With money, you can buy a clock, but not time. With money, you can buy a bed, but not sleep. With money, you can buy food, but not appetite. With money, you can buy a doctor, but not good health. With money, you can have insurance, but not safety. And this is the problem that we all have. There are things that you cannot buy with material wealth, with money. You can buy a...
Thanks, Lisa. Let me get my presentation back up. So you see, money doesn't buy everything. Matthew 6:21 says, where your treasure is, there your heart will also be. Values lie at the heart of who we are, and they guide, they drive, and they lead us. What's your treasure and what's your heart? What's in your heart? If we're not in touch with our values, we'll be all over the place with our money. Okay, so the last step, sorry you can't see these great slides, which my dear friend Melissa helped me create. Okay. So the last piece is, you can't see the slide, but it's 5 steps to create the life you want, and I'm just going to talk through it. So number 1, have a vision. Imagine what you want, why you want it, and be intentional about it. One of our earlier speakers talked about intentionality. I think it was William. Be very intentional and clear about what it is that you want. Have a vision. Scripture says, my people perish without a vision. And so if we are perishing, what does it mean to perish? It means to be wasting away our lives, and we don't want that. So have a vision, and make sure that, another thing is God always has a vision that's much bigger than our vision. Ephesians 3:20 is one of my favorite scriptures, so have a vision. Number 2, make a money plan that's tied to your values. A money plan that's tied to your values. Set dates, create milestones, and track your progress. We often set plans for vacations, for events, for parties, for everything except our money. We even plan for house renovations or purchasing a house, the research we go through, but we don't spend time with our money. And our money is our means. It's our means to our why, our values, and how we want to live. So I encourage you to have a money plan. 3, well, this is still connected. So again, enroll God in your plans. Enroll God in your money plans. As I mentioned, God is the best money manager I know. And when I started Lead with Heart just a year ago, I left my big corporate job. I was in a C-suite role, and I was working with top leaders. I left my job. And there's a whole other story about that where I really was told it's time for you to leave. And it was quite scary. But I decided to work with a new C-suite, a new team. So I invited around my dining room table the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. And we assemble, and I say, God, Father, Holy Spirit, what are we creating today? For real, for real. And stuff just comes. I just sense the direction of the Lord. It's like, what are we going to create today? What client are we going to work with today? Who are we going to say no to? Who are we going to say yes to? So enroll God into your plans. Number 3, WWW, water, work, and watch your plan. You'll get these slides, so you'll see this beautiful presentation I'm watching. Water, work, and watch your plan unfold. Take baby steps. Use affirmations. I'm a big fan of affirmations. I wrote a whole book about affirmations. Create a vision board. I'm big on that too. All these things help us to stay motivated and inspired. I had another thought here too about watering your plan. Your plan. Somebody mentioned earlier. I think it was somebody said the habit of put first things first. I remember my kids were younger. I used to always say, do what you have to do before you do what you want to do. They heard that over and over again, and they used to just be little tots walking around. Do what I want to do what I have to do before I do what I want to do. So it was before hang out with your friends and a videotape. Do what I have to do before I do what I want to do. And so that instilled in them, and now they're both in college, they're on scholarships, and they're rocking. They're really rocking on Dean's List. Okay, so 4, create the small wins. Because they add up to big wins. Soon you'll be closer to what you've envisioned as you have those wins begin to build up. And 4, sustain your vision. This is the opportunity where you refresh your steps, reinforce your habits, capture lessons learned, and create a legacy for others to follow. That's a big one for me. Once you have this money, don't keep it to yourself. Pay it forward. Give to organizations you care about that are connected to your values. give the money away. Because here's what happens when you unlock your fist and give money away, it just keeps coming back to you. It just keeps showing up. So pay it forward, invest in someone, an organization, a cause, something you really, really care about. So I was just going to say one thing about the brain, and that is neuroscience says each time we behave and each time we have movement and do things, we create these neural pathways in the brain. It's like these roadways, much like the roadway presentation you saw in my presentation. And every time we keep doing that thing over and over again, the brain thinks, okay, we got a new roadway, we got a new habit. And that's how habits are created. So the more you sustain your vision, refresh your vision, stay connected with your vision, make sure it's connected to your values in the heart, the more it'll become natural and it'll be a discipline that you develop over time. So there you have it. Don't leave this conference without making one change. Consider just one small change you can make toward creating your life. As Obama said, change will not come if we wait for other people or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. You are waiting for you. It's time to make a change. Thank you, and God bless.
What did I tell you? Did she not bring it home? I got to tell you, prior to hearing this message, I didn't even know what the C-suite was. I knew there were CEOs, CIOs, CTOs, CFOs. I didn't know that they were called the C-suite, but it makes sense. And this is who she deals with. She helps you to bring your dream to life. Just like this free financial empowerment conference, she was my puppeteer, helping to guide me to get things done. She also does that in her business sense. This woman is absolutely amazing, and I love her dearly. This is our show. We're primarily sponsored by EAJ1023radio.com. I always say faith conquers fear. Irregardless of if you're afraid, do it anyway. I love you. Have an amazing day.